Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this segment of Live Your Best. I'm your host, Poonam Shah, and our goal on these segments is simple: to find out what everyone's secret sauce is to balancing all the multiple hats they wear and to follow our passion to live our best life. And today, we're back in the studio with Monica Segal. You heard a little bit about her earlier this year on Women of Washington, and today we're going to get to know a little bit more about her as she has so many multiple projects going on. You heard all about that. You know, she's the author of Kiss in Kashmir as well as 13 other books. So welcome back to the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we learned a lot about all your different projects, so we'll just jump right in. Like, what do you have a favorite motto? Do you have, something that you live by as you're kind of balancing and navigating your way?
Yes, I thought about this when we first talked on the phone and you asked me this question, and I thought, what do I live by? And I have a very favorite saying by a teacher whose name is Ram Dass, and the saying is that at the end of the day, we're all just walking each other home. So I love that so much because I think, it brings out empathy and compassion and all of that, and I think empathy and compassion in their back pocket always carry love. So I try to radiate that. I try to live by that. I try to help people when I can, because at the end of the day, we're just walking each other home.
That's true, and it's each other, not just ourselves.
Correct.
Because you're there for everyone.
Absolutely, and the more you lift other people up, the more you're lifted, right? The more we help each other. If my books do well and I help other writers, we all come up together. It's not a competition. I think people sometimes think it is. Oh, she's got a bestseller or he's got a better book. It's nothing like that. If you help each other, it only helps the collective.
That's
always.
true. So, through your journey, has there been any single challenges that you've had to personally overcome, or things that you've had to accept through this process?
So many things. I think sometimes there's a battle between the mind and the heart on what to do, and I always feel like the mind is, always the ego, and the heart is always the love and the compassion. And sometimes when the heart and the mind have been fighting, I always go back to the one place that always has the answers, which actually are your lungs. What that means is being in the present moment, breathing through difficult times, breathing, realizing that the present moment is all that we have, and that's where we will make the decisions. I had a very difficult time where I had to end a 23-year marriage, which was very hard. I never even thought that there would be something like divorce in my life, and I ended up being a single parent and raising 2 children by myself. And a lot of that had to be go to the lungs, breathe, think about where you are, accept the situation, get the clarity, and move on. Because otherwise, fighting those things from the mind, should it have happened, shouldn't it have happened, the heart is going, but love, what's going to happen? Everybody is fighting. Go to the lungs, breathe, accept, and one day at a time, you move on with clarity.
Wow. I have never heard, I've heard the thought about breathing, and, we all know about the breath work and how it helps calm the mind, but, bringing it back to the lungs and the scientific piece of it is interesting. I thought you were going to say go with your gut, because I feel like, you hear that a lot. But I think the lungs and the breath is really interesting.
Well, all
and
the
I think
meditation teachers teach that. They teach breath work, and they teach you how to center. So this actually I learned from an Instagram meme. So let's give credit where it's due.
Right. No, but I agree with that. The yin and the yang, the mind and the heart.
Everybody's fighting.
That's pretty
breathe,
interesting.
It's all useless,
Right. So going back to finding balance in the work life, we talked about, having the day job, having the mom job, having the passion job, and everything in between of running the house. What's your interpretation of work-life balance?
So I look at it a little differently. I don't use the word balance in my life ever.
Okay.
The word that I end up using is harmony.
Oh, okay.
So there are days where the book is going to take center stage, and that's where the harmony is. So I'm not pushing a boulder uphill that day. I'm not on that day going, but the kids, but the work, but the this, but the that. Harmony, what's the harmony? I have to focus on this. This one thing deserves the attention today. One day it could be the kids, where everything else has to take a back seat. So finding that harmony, I think, is very important, because it brings in contentment.
Right.
And you stop fighting with yourself, because I feel like 99% of the time we're fighting with ourselves. I have so many things to do.
Right.
I have this to-do list. I. well, who created that?
Right.
You did.
Right.
So if you can create it, you can uncreate it in
Right.
a way.
Right.
And figure out what is going to bring me the most harmony, because at the end of the day, how are we going to measure our life? It's going to be through harmony.
Right.
And how content we were.
Right. And I think that also goes back to that saying about, you can only control what, you can do. You have the power to control yourself. You can't control the things around you. You can't control all the different demands, but you can control how you react to it and how you go about it. Right. So how you want to prioritize, how you want to pick that one thing that takes center stage that day. So that's great.
I think that's so critical. And I think one of the things that I learned was I was always, when I was younger and crazier, always reacting. And then as you get older, you look at harmony, and harmony always says, instead of reacting, respond.
Right.
Which means take a second, step back,
breathe,
go to the lungs,
and then
do it.
Move forth. Well, thanks so much for teaching us all about that today. Please follow us on facebook.com/liveyourbestdc. We'll post again Monica's website so you can follow us there as well. Take care, and we will see you next time on Live Your Best.